Can an SSD make an old laptop feel new again? If your old laptop has become painfully slow, you might assume it's simply time to replace it. Applications take longer to open, Windows takes forever to start, files seem to load slowly, and even basic tasks can feel frustrating. But before buying a new laptop, there's one upgrade worth considering. Replacing the old hard drive with an SSD. For many older laptops, an SSD upgrade can make a surprisingly large difference. It won't transform an ancient processor into a modern one, but it can make the computer feel dramatically more responsive. So, can an SSD really make an old laptop feel new again? In many cases, yes. Older laptops often use mechanical hard disk drives, or HDDs. An HDD stores data on spinning magnetic platters and uses a moving mechanical head to read and write information. This technology worked well for decades, but it's much slower and less responsive than modern solid-state storage. An old laptop may also suffer from limited RAM, an aging processor, outdated software, too many startup applications, and overheating. An SSD won't fix all of these problems. However, it can address one of the biggest sources of sluggishness. Unlike an HDD, an SSD has no spinning platters or mechanical read-write head. Instead, it uses flash memory to store data electronically. This allows the SSD to access files much more quickly. The difference is particularly noticeable for background operations. Windows needs to load system files, drivers, and background services constantly. An SSD handles these much more efficiently. One of the first improvements you'll probably notice is faster startup. After installing an SSD, startup can become dramatically faster. Another major benefit is faster application loading. Programs like browsers and photo editors launch much faster. The laptop may suddenly feel much more responsive. Click an application, and it opens. Open a folder, and its contents appear quickly. An SSD doesn't directly increase your RAM, but it improves the experience when the OS uses storage as virtual memory. Replacing an HDD with an SSD doesn't increase your processor's clock speed. You may still face limitations in video rendering or gaming. An SSD can improve gaming by reducing loading times and asset streaming delays, even if FPS stays mostly the same. Many older laptops use a 2.5-inch SATA drive. The most straightforward upgrade is usually a 2.5-inch SATA SSD. If your laptop supports an M2 NVMe SSD, you have that option, but check your specifications first as hardware varies. For an old laptop, 500 GB is a good budget option. 1 TB is the sweet spot for many users today. Consider the RAM as well. Upgrading both an SSD and RAM can produce a much more noticeable improvement. Don't forget about overheating. Cleaning the cooling system and applying new thermal paste can prevent throttling. Always back up your important files before you begin. An SSD isn't a miracle, but it's often the smarter investment. Final verdict: can an SSD make an old laptop feel new again? Absolutely. Sometimes, one simple storage upgrade is enough to give an old laptop a second life.